Fingai Saitomi Motorsports juggernaut was halted last time out at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Can they bounce back at the end of 125 laps at Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway, home of round number 6 of the 2026 1UP Nitro National Series schedule? This high-banked half-mile concrete oval has seen a lot of great racing, a lot of attrition, and a lot of wild moments. Will this race be an exception to the rule, or will we see more or less of the same here tonight? Alongside me in the booth to bring you all the action for tonight's race is Duke and Zach back with us once again. Great to have you with us. This is Bristol. A lot can happen over the course of 125 laps, but one thing's for sure, we're going to see a lot of close quarters racing for the entire time.
Oh yeah, Bristol is one of the best tracks we have on the schedule. It is tight, it is fast, it is high banked, and it is going to be an absolute blast today here in the Nitro National Series. These guys are going to be pushing hard all day long. That's the only way that you can race here at Bristol, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Everybody leaning on each other and everybody fighting for every single position, and there's going to be action all over the track. It is going to be a great time.
And with no pit stops planned, this is a straight-up race to the flag for these 42 Nitro National Series drivers, but the fight to stay on the lead lap, especially for those at the back of the field, is going to be paramount because a caution can change everything, and no matter when in the race it unfolds. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for tonight's 125 laps at Bristol. Chris Lattimore gets his first pole of the season. He is a former Superstar winner here, so that the success should translate well to these Nitro National cars, where he is more than familiar with success as well. Cameron Lessard lines up alongside him, likewise looking for his first win in the Nitro National Series. Riley Hooper lining up third, Wyatt Junkman fourth, and Hayes Green rounding out the top 5. A bit of a wild card top 5 starting order, but really, all these guys are here for a reason. They will be racing for the win when it's all said and done.
You're absolutely right. And, track position is going to be pretty important, especially at the beginning of this race. If we start getting a little bit of caution flag and a little bit of some restarts, things will change up a little bit. But, yeah, you want to be up front here. You want to be kind of in that top 10, top 15 to start this race so that you're close enough to really make it happen. And big thing today to watch is going to be lap traffic. Everybody's going to catch the back end of the field very quickly. How can you navigate the lap traffic? That is going to be the difference between winning and losing today.
So with that being said, we've got 42 drivers ready to stake their claim on Bristol Motor Speedway. We're ready to bring you that action now. It is the 1UP Nitro National Series from Bristol, race number 6 of the year. The green flag set to get this great race underway. Stay tuned for that. Under the lights at Bristol, it is Lattimore and Lessard on row 1. Green flag is out. We are racing at Bristol, and the 3 car gets an excellent launch off the line. Lessard going to quickly try and fill in that hole, but Riley Hooper's there to try and make an impact on the 54's advantage in second. But through 3 and 4, to complete lap number 1, it is Chris Lattimore with a healthy few car lengths lead over Cameron Lessard. He leads the opening lap.
Yeah, and that was really important to get single file for the leader and, of course, for the 54 as well. You don't want to get caught up in a battle early in this race. You want to stay with everybody that's out front, and you can see that gap already. The 26 right there, and everybody here in 5th on back. They're side-by-side racing, and this is 3 wide for a second here as well. But, yeah, these guys are really battling right now, and they're starting to lose touch with the front 4.
Yeah, that is Lattimore, Lessard, Hooper, and Junkman. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first battle side by side is DJ Curtis and Ryan Arnold. That is for 7th spot. Hayes Green in the 25 quickly clears Andrew Langley in the 21. That is for 5th spot. And AJ Zhao fighting his way up through the field as we've got trouble early on here at Bristol. It is Shantley Daniel and Courtney Ancelotti, 2 of the Vice Valley Motorsports cars involved in the same accident early here at Bristol.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what happened here. We had several cars involved, like you mentioned, and here at Bristol, sometimes the slowdown will get some people as well. So we're watching through the field to make sure everybody's okay. It looks like they are. Pace car has picked up the field. Lap 5, early yellow here. This is going to cause a bit of a rift in our side-by-side battling that was happening. It's just going to put all those lap cars closer to the front of the field all the way around.
It's a tough break for Vice Valley Motorsports. They've been having a rough start to the year, and now it gets even worse. 2 of their drivers caught up in the same accident. And as they go a lap down here to the rest of the field, I don't expect it to get much better. Ancelotti out of the pits. She'll be able to continue. I expect Daniel will as well. But it's just unfortunate for the Vice Valley team. They were hoping for a good turnaround to their year. They brought Nicky Martinez back to Nitro National competition to help that. And now their other 2 cars involved in a wreck here at Bristol. Looks like it's a 3-wide situation, and yeah, Tegan Fox just gets into Shantley Daniel, tips him up into the wall, and Ancelotti right at the back had no room to get underneath her teammate because there was already a car underneath her.
No room at all, and that's a classic Bristol crash right there, where you're coming out of the corner and you're 3 wide just by a little bit, and then everybody starts to touch and slide, and then you smash into the next corner. It just happens so fast here.
As you can see, we're back to our live feed. You see the 2 Vice Valley cars stopped at the end of the pit lane waiting for the rest of the field to roll past, and then they'll be able to leave the pits as they do right now. But we're under caution very early here at Bristol on lap number 7, and Chris Lattimore's led every lap so far, but it's a tough road ahead for Vice Valley Motorsports. They're going to need another caution to get one of their cars back on the lead lap. They're going to need multiple to get them both back into the game, but as of right now, their only undamaged car in this race left is the 43 of Nicky Martinez, and even she is mired in the low 30s.
Yeah, that's true. So it's going to be a bit of a tough recovery there for them, and that's how it goes at Bristol sometimes. You know, if you have to make any pit stop, even under yellow, you're just kind of pushing it with the amount of time that it takes to get around here. It is just so short and so quick, even under caution at Bristol. So that's a tough situation for them. But here we go, looking towards the restart, and we'll see how Lattimore is able to handle this with the 54 behind. Just in kind of free space, you know, side to side, not a lot that you can do to defend both sides. We'll see how the 3-car handles all of that. And here you can see the 2 lap down cars. This is going to be interesting as they're going to be starting right next to our leaders side by side at the front. Who is going to be able to capitalize on the situation that occurs due to these 2 cars?
Well, we're about to find out because we're about half a lap from the restart. Ancelotti and Daniel take their place in the inside. Hopefully they're not damaged too badly, but any damage here at Bristol is going to be a detriment just because of the speeds you achieve here. But the pace car's about to pull off. Chris Lattimore has led every lap of this race so far, and he will lead us to the restart, which will come on lap number 10, and off he goes.
Wow, another great restart from the 3-car and from the 54. They both get clear of those 2 lap cars. That was critical for the 2 of them to get by. And now look at that. The 69 is clear, and behind that it is chaos. The 19 is slow. He's got a bunch of damage from that crash, and it's causing some chaos back there. 3 wide for the 6th position with the 19.
Yeah, and that is not what Wyatt Junkman was hoping for in the 38. He restarted 4th. He's already fallen back to about 7th, 8th position now. This is not good for the 38, who had a really good qualifying effort tonight. He started 4th, and he's just hemorrhaging positions here because he's now stuck behind the 34, who's a little off the pace herself.
So we have a breakaway of the top 3 because of that, and of course the 25 car back there, he is now clear of the lappers as well, but pretty much almost a second behind the 3rd place car at this point. So that's going to be a bit tough to make up, but right now looking okay for those top 3. Everybody's single file most of the way through the field, and now we start. You know, unless we get another caution, this is going to be probably a big run here that you want to make sure that you can gain some time and get through all the way up to the front and try to battle towards the front when they get to the lap track.
Well, this 38 is struggling behind Ancelotti. Wyatt Junkman has still not been able to clear the 34, and he's fallen out of the top 10. He's down to 15th, and he's battling David Richardson for 16th now. So this is not good for Wyatt Junkman. There's a bit of a hole behind Devin Fair he might be able to try and slot into, but not what this 38 team is hoping for. They had a strong day at New Jersey Motor Speedway last time out, but it doesn't look like they're going to repeat that quite, as he's almost backed up to his teammate in the black and white 28, Carson Green.
Yeah, he finally was able to get down to the bottom of the racetrack there. That's where you want to be. Let that 34 car fall back on the outside, but that is just a really upsetting situation. Not a lot you can do in that circumstance. You just have to ride there and hope that you can get that hole down to the bottom.
But meanwhile, up at the front, it's a 3-horse race between Lattimore, Lassard, and Riley Hooper, and these guys are put a bit of a gap between themselves and fourth place Hayes Green. They've got about a second between the 69 and the 25, but I don't think anybody's forcing the issue at the moment. We're only just about to start lap 20, so there's still over 100 laps to go in this race. These guys just got to find their groove, settle in. Maybe once they get to the lap traffic at the back of the field, then they'll be able to see who's got the better car of these three.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see, because you can look like you're having a really good run. Like the 3 car right now, he's starting to pull away just ever so slightly from the 54, and the 69 obviously is keeping up with them, but we don't really know. I mean, those 3 cars could really be equal when they're not in lap traffic, and then one of them is just going to absolutely start mowing them down when we get to lap traffic. Look at what they're going to be faced with. This 2 wide, 5 rows deep. This is going to be intense. Really, really difficult to navigate through these cars as the leader, even though you're a lot faster. It's just, there's nowhere to go. Look at these guys.
And meanwhile, I did want to make mention of this 31 car who had to start at the rear of the field through a driver change. Jacob Buchholz drove this car for the first 5 races. He's been suspended by the officials for unsportsmanlike conduct, so he is out. And Boston Shaw, who normally drives the 90 car on a full-time basis, he's been shifted over to the 31 for the rest of the season. So this is Boston Shaw's first race in the 31 for Storm Rig Motorsports. He started at the rear. He's climbed up about 8 or 9 spots. That's a really good run for Shaw in his debut ride with that team.
Totally agree. Tough circumstance starting at the back, but yeah, it's very good right now. And this is a good battle that we have right here for the 10th position, for the 9th and 10th position, that is. The 92 on the bottom lane and the 33 on the top. There's the 9 and the 66 as well, fighting to get up into the top 10. But this is kind of a classic Bristol situation. The outside working a little bit. You get that run down the straightaway, but the inside really fast through the middle of the corner. So it's that give and take of where do you want to be. You can defend on the outside a little bit, and do you want to try to run there to gain speed, or where's your car the fastest? Most of everybody is on the bottom right now, but to defend a position, that outside lane is certainly usable.
And I'm a little curious as to Paul Villalobos in the 66. He's entering this weekend with a lot of momentum. He won the Superstar race at Hillside a couple bits ago, and he got really loose out of turn 2. But Villalobos is on a tear. He won a Superstar race. He hasn't even won a Nitro race yet, and he's already won in the big leagues. He was fastest in practice this weekend, but he has not really shown up the way I expected him to. He's battling Cody Llamas right now for the 12th position, but I expected him to be a little further up the field considering he was fastest in practice, and he's got that tidal wave of momentum behind him.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, he started in 9th place, so you'd expect him to go up from there. But unfortunately, so far, he has only fallen down. Not super far, but he really isn't making any forward progress. So you can see he's getting challenged by the 48 on the outside lane right now. And here we go. This is the back of the field. There's a little bit of a gap between these 2 cars that have a little bit of damage. The 19 does, at least. But the leaders have caught these guys, and it looks like it's starting to single file out a little bit more at the back half of the field. So there goes Lattimore to the bottom of the 19 car, going to make easy work of the 19. That's good because the 19 has a little bit of damage. But now let's see what happens. He's got that gap. It's about 7/10 ahead of second place. We'll see how that changes as he catches more lap traffic.
The first normal lap car he's going to face is this 13 of Jesse Johns, who had a top 5 run at Daytona to start the season, but has not done much since, and that's just part of the growing pains of a lame duck team such as Express Motorsports. But here's Lassard trying to make his way through on Shantley Daniel. That is not for position. Daniel's got 2 laps down. But he needs to make that pass, and he needed to make it quick, and it looks like he did. So now, once Lattimore has to deal with Jesse Johns in a little bit, Lassard will hopefully be able to crawl up right to the back of him and make a fight out of this.
Yeah, so the 54 ended up losing about 2/10 in the exchange as they both worked their way past the 19 car. It was all about the timing. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, they didn't, neither of them really did a worse or a better job than each other. It was just the timing in which they caught them. The 3 car caught the 19 at corner entry, was able to sneak down low through the corner, make the pass completed by the time they got back out on the straightaway. And the 54 caught him at the exit of the corner, had to sacrifice his corner exit to stay to the inside of him, and it cost him 2/10 over that period of time. And that's just how it works here. And you can see Lattimore now stuck behind this 13 car, needs to get to the bottom, but he's leading time every single lap that he stays behind the 13. The 54 can smell that blood in the water.
The good news, though, for them is it's pretty much 3 cars still, because Shantley Daniels holding up everybody from 4th on back. You can see the rest of the top 10 in a train behind the 19. Hayes Green's going to try and make a move on the 19 down here. This is going to open the floodgates. Once he gets through, I expect everybody to be able to... Whoa, Langley out of turn 2. I've noticed that with a couple of cars in this race. They get a little sideways out of turn 2, but for the most part are able to hold on to it. So that's good news at least. But up at the front, it continues to be Cameron Lassard trying to close the gap to Chris Lattimore.
And the laps clicked by so quickly here. We're already at lap 42 now. In this one, and you can see the 19. You were right about the floodgates. Everybody passing him now. But here is the 3 car kind of pushing this 13 forward of Jesse Johns towards the back of the field, forcing that 13 car to go a little bit faster than he has been for a while. And now they're about to catch the back half of the field. And this is surprising to me that the 3 car can't get past the 13. I think that for the leader, you'd think that he would have a little bit better chance to get by these guys. But now, here's the 54 has caught up, and the 69 is going to be there shortly after, and we'll see what happens. The battle is about to begin for the lead. And there goes the 3 to the bottom.
Yeah, he didn't want to wait any longer. He saw the 54 in his mirrors, and he did not want to wait for an opportunity for Lassard to get past. So Lattimore dives underneath to put a lap on Jesse Johns, and hopefully Lassard will be able to follow him through, and Hooper as well. But here's the thing. They're coming up on some side-by-side traffic here with Ludovic Charette, Mike Edwards, Courtney Ancelotti, who's already a lap down, and Aiden Clare. This is not going to be easy for the 3 car to deal with.
No, and I think that the key here is to just try to stay on the bottom, especially with the side-by-side racing and stuff. You just got to stay on the bottom. The bottom's always going to move a little bit faster. But I'll tell you what, the 3 car, it was great that he was able to get by Jesse Johns. However, everybody else was able to utilize the move that he made to get past because they were so close at that point. So now you've got 2nd place and 3rd place right up on your bumper. It would have really been good to get past Jesse Johns a little bit sooner. And there's the 3 to the bottom of the 11, almost out of the corner. That was an intense moment right there. It looked like they might have wrecked. And here, this is just a scary situation for the leaders being stuck in this side-by-side traffic with all these lap cars.
Yeah, this is not comfortable territory for any of these leaders because they know that these cars are not as fast as them. They just have to find the right opportunity to move past. And we got a 3-wide situation here with Riley Hooper, Mike Edwards, Courtney Ancelotti. Oh, they banged doors. They banged doors out of turn 2 between Edwards and Hooper. That shouldn't impact them too badly as far as damage is concerned, but I'm worried if that happens again, if it's going to be even worse this time around. Hooper clears them, which is good news, but oh man, Jesse Johns trying to follow the 69 through. And keep in mind, the 13 and the 12, that's a fight for the 3 pass as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. And these guys, they're going to be really blocking the track for everybody else once again. The rest of the field is going to get trapped behind some people, and there's contact into the corner. Wow, I was shocked that they didn't go around right there. That looked like the 13 was going to head straight on into the wall. But now, they're all going to single file out, and the rest of the field is going to start passing them. Freight train on the bottom lane. This whole part of the field is basically from 4th through, what is that, 8th or 9th back there? I mean, they are all right nose to tail with each other because of the lap traffic. And here is Lattimore going through past the 11 car finally to get by, and now has a little bit of clean track where he can breathe and maybe open up that gap again.
Yeah, that's good news for Lattimore that he's clear. Lassard still has to clear Charette in the 11, but those were some nervous moments back there for a lot of people that are having really good days, and they didn't want to jeopardize losing that. We have now 37 cars on the lead lap. 3 a lap down, 2 are 2 laps down. Those are the 2 that were in that accident back at lap 5. But Lattimore is now, like you said, extending his lead once again, and he needs to do that because I have a feeling Lassard and Hooper are not going to want to roll over and let Lattimore lead every lap of this race. So it's just a matter of time, I feel. But here's the thing. There's some more lap traffic up ahead, and that's why Lattimore is extending his lead as much as he is, so he can have that cushion to work with in navigating those lap cars.
No, you're totally right about that, and I think that this is the first kind of example that we have that the 3 car really does have some real speed right now in this race. He was able to pull away now over just over a second ahead of second place once they got clear. So the 54 on the flip side now knows that the best opportunity to get by is going to be in the lap traffic. So the 69 knows that as well. This is going to be an intense bit of the race here because those guys know that they have to capitalize on the lap traffic. That's when they're going to have their opportunity. They might not be able to beat the 3 car on pace, at least not right now in this one.
And look at this. About 4th through 10th in this race are stuck behind a mega battle for the 3 pass position between the 11, the 12, and the 13. They're all fighting to be the first car 1 lap down in case we get another caution. One of them will get their lap back. Unfortunately, Lattimore is about to catch Aiden Clare and Nicky Martinez, and just ahead of them, Blair in the 5, Will Parrish in the 17. Those 4 are at risk of going a lap down now, and if one of them does, that makes that battle back there worthless.
Yeah, so I think that this is critical right now for Lattimore to try to get by the 00 as fast as possible. You've got that gap between yourself and the 54. If you can get by 1 or 2 of these cars ahead of you, you're going to put them in between yourself and second place. And what happened last time is he wasn't able to get by until the 54 caught him, and then the 54 followed him through. We don't want that 54 car on your bumper right here, so it's going to be critical to see the 3 car if he can get by the 00, but right now it's not looking so good. And here comes the 54.
He's closing bit by bit. He's not gaining as much as perhaps he'd like, but Lattimore doing a decent job trying to put pressure on the 00, try and force him up the racetrack a little bit, and the 43 ahead of the 00 for good measure. But the more Lattimore struggles behind Claire and Martinez, the 00 had to check up big time out of turn 2 there. So Lassard is going to have a lot better time at this point in the race trying to close in on Lattimore. Yeah, he just picked up 2/10 on that lap alone.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why the 3 car, he really, really is desperate to get by the 00. I'm not sure what else he could do more, but the 54 is now getting to the point where it's close enough that he could possibly just follow the 3 car through past the 00 again, just like last time they caught lap traffic. So this is a critical moment in this race for the 54 to try to capitalize on the struggles that the 3 is having getting by lap traffic.
And look at this, meanwhile. We've got a side-by-side battle for 4th position. DJ Curtis, we just can't count him out, can we, in any of these races? Even though he hasn't really featured in this one so far, he is fighting Hayes Green and Ryan Arnold for a spot in the top 5. He's got a healthy points lead, and this 22, even if he's not a threat to win the race, he's always a threat to feature one way or another, and he's doing that right now in 5th.
This is just an absolute hornet's nest right now with all of these cars fighting for position behind the lap traffic, and it is just intense right there. So it's a matter of time before something goes chaotically wrong in that situation. Speaking of chaos, look at this group that has developed in front of our leaders now. The 19 car is about to go 3 laps down and is holding up this group of lap traffic. They are right in front of the leaders, and this is getting intense for everybody. because now we have second place right on the bumper of Chris Lattimore, and we have double zero right there fighting for position with the 43 and the 17.
Oh, here we go. We got to move.
Side.
Lassard gets underneath
for the lead.
Lassard gets underneath the 3. Can he make it stick? Coming through 3 and 4 to complete lap 74. I think Lattimore is going to have the lead at that lap, but Lassard has found an opening, and he is taking it. This 54 is not wanting to be denied, and he's using the 17 car, I think, as a pick to try and get the lead for himself. We could have our first lead change here shortly.
Yeah, and that's the risk. That's the risk you take if you are Lattimore trying to get by the lap traffic and failing. He needed to do that a lot sooner so that this didn't happen. And now the 54 is clear for the lead ahead of the 3 car. Boy, oh boy, that is just a huge mistake from Chris Lattimore to allow this to happen early at lap 77 here in this race. I mean, now you're going to have to fight and try to pass him as well. And we know that car has been struggling making passes against even the slower cars towards the back half of the field. And now, what is he going to do to try to get by the 54 again? Jeez.
The good news for him is that he immediately slotted back into
no.
Oh, that was almost bad between the 17 and the 19. But the good news for Lattimore, he was able to immediately slot in to the inside line. That's the good news. The bad news is he's still got to deal with Will Parrish in the 17, and that's allowing Lassard to get a bigger and bigger lead out in front, and Cooper's now on his bumper for second place. So this is unfamiliar territory for Chris Lattimore, but he's got to find a way back around this 54 if he's going to try and win this race.
Certainly will, and we know that this car is a bit faster than the 54. We saw him gap that 54 car twice in this race, and here he is catching up once again. Now, the double zero car, who kind of started that whole sequence of everybody getting past and moving around, still ahead of them. He was able to drive away a little bit with the 43 for a moment there while the leaders were fighting with all those other cars that they got by, but those 2 cars still proving to be a challenge to get past. And now the 3 car chasing instead of being chased.
The good news for Lattimore is that he has Martinez and Claire still ahead of him. And those 2 are pretty quick cars, even though they're about to be lapped. As Lattimore take a peek to the outside, he thought about trying to go the long way around to try and generate some momentum up there. He thought better of it, went back low. I think he's got to try and force Lassard into a similar mistake that he made earlier to try and hang on here and get the lead back.
That 3 car is really, really fast right now. We just watched him catch the 54. He was about 6/10 back. We caught him before the 54 ever really got to the bumper of the double zero, and that's just a very impressive drive. He drove away from the 69 car that's in 3rd place. So we'll see what he's able to do. He's trying that outside lane, like you said. He's trying to generate some momentum. Don't know if it's going to work. We'll see what happens later in this race. But yeah, now they're both kind of trapped behind the 43 and the double zero once again.
And we've got 40 laps to go in this race. There's still enough time to make something happen, but time is quickly running out. We're looking a little further back. We've got Devin Fair making a move into the top 10 in that 20 car. He started down in 20th position, and he's I believe, our biggest mover of the day so far. Him and Boston Shaw have both made some good moves up the field. They're currently about plus 10 spots apiece, but looking further back, see where your favorite driver is running after 88 laps have been completed. I think this 10 car had a little bit of a moment on the previous lap because he lost a lot of time to those around him.
I noticed that as well, and I think that it impacted the 16 car as well. It just kind of slowed everybody up right there, but no harm, no foul at this point in the race, and we continue on driving.
And meanwhile, Jesse Johns is holding up pretty much everybody from fourth on back. You can see the gap 5 seconds between Taze Green and Cameron Lassard first to fourth. But this 43 and the double zero, they're still not able, the leaders anyway, they're still not able to get by these two. And this is very curious. I've seen how both of those two are Toyotas, and the leader happens to be a Toyota as well. None of them are driving for the same team, but you gotta keep that in mind as well, considering there are 2 Chevrolets ranging up behind.
Well, it is fascinating because when the 3 car caught them, they both were staying right there on the bottom. as they should. You know, they're fighting for their lead lap position. They're doing a great job. And then as they kind of caught everybody else, the even slower cars that were kind of falling through the field with the 19 and whatnot, they got away from the lead.
Ooh,
So
Lassard
he goes up the track.
That's an opportunity for Lattimore, but I think Lassard carried enough momentum through the corner. He's going to shut the door again.
So what I was saying with these Toyotas, you'd think that they would be a little bit more intentional about letting this 54 through if they were playing some teammate games, manufacturer games here in this race, because that is a big risk here. Oh, and there, as I say it, the 54 is going to get a chance to the bottom of the 00. But the 54 riding behind, you know, there's the chance for that little mistake, that little mix-up there, and the 3 can go right on by. It's exactly what happened to the 3 car, and we almost saw it just a lap ago. So we'll see what happens with these 2 Toyotas, if they let the 54 by or not. But so far, they don't seem to be letting him by at all.
Yeah, no, it's every man for themselves here at Bristol. That's why we call it the last great Coliseum. But we're now at 30 laps to go, and Riley Hooper has also caught these two, and he's been a feature at the front of the field all day long. What can he do to try and win this race? If we look a little further back, Ryan Arnold, he's dispatched DJ Curtis for 5th spot. He's now going after Hayes Green for 4th. This 01 car has really needed something good to happen for him this season. He's had a couple DNFs. He's deep in the points now, and this is a car that really needs to get some momentum going in the right direction, and a top 5 would really help him with that. He's gone without a top 10 in the first 5 races this season.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really interesting right here with Jesse Johns kind of blocking everybody right now. I mean, it's his right to do so. He is in this race as well, but yeah, kind of holding up the entire field from 4th on back, and it's really turned it into a 3-car battle. Other than those top 3. You know?
Yeah, and we're into the final 25 laps now. Just with a truck race last night, this would be the point where we'd throw the checkered flag and go home. But we still got plenty of racing left to go here at Bristol. We're into the final 25 laps, and look at Devin Fair soar around the outside of DJ Curtis to move himself up into 7th. Devin Fair's got a really strong car. He probably won't get that far up the field, that much further up the field, considering how far ahead the leaders are, but this is a really strong run from that 20 car.
Yeah, it is, and this is what I'm fascinated with, this battle for the lead. They are stuck right now behind the 00 and the 43 cars. They are just barely fast enough to stay ahead of our leaders, but slow enough that the leaders are all bunched up with each other. And it's going to be interesting to see what can the 3 car do, what can the 69 do, how are those 3 positions going to shuffle before this race is over, still to come. And here we look back at the 92 car, who is in 10th place in this big gaggle of cars, all stuck behind the 13, and now one of them has just gotten by the 01 car, has gotten by in 4th, and we'll see if anybody else is able to follow suit. Maybe not.
And talking about Riley Hooper real quick in 3rd spot, he's been keeping a watching brief on the 2 leaders all night long. He's got a superstar debut to look forward to tomorrow. So Riley Hooper doing a very strong job in the 69 car. Tomorrow he'll hop in behind the wheel of the 66 car in the Superstar Series for his first ever start in the big leagues. And he might want to try and emulate what his teammate Paul Villalobos did in his 2nd start. He went on to win that Superstar race at Hillside. So Riley Hooper might be thinking about that, but his main focus right now is trying to find a way past this 3 car so he can try and set off after Lassard.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go with the battle for the lead, and this is going to be a fascinating moment coming up soon, because now the 43, the 00, and our leaders are all catching up to a little bit more lap traffic right behind or just ahead of them. So this is going to be interesting to see if they are able to do what they did last time and maybe make some passes there. Will it cause a little bit of chaos between the leaders? I'm not sure, but it's going to be interesting to find out.
Meanwhile, Ryan Arnold has broken free of this traffic jam with Jesse Johns. Devin Fair going to try and do the same. Hayes Green's been knocked out of the top 5 for the first time tonight. He hung on so long. He did such a good job but now he runs in 6th place behind Devin Fair. This is a big battle back here for the latter half of the top 10, but this is the battle we're keeping our eye on for the lead of this race. Cameron Lessard's led since lap 74. Chris Lattimore led every lap before that, and now he's doing whatever he can to try and get his first Nitro National Series win and try and deny the same effort for Cameron Lessard.
This is going to be just intense for a few laps here coming to the end of this race, because look at this insane battling towards the back half of the field. There's so many cars right there. All of them are going to be in a tough spot here to try to get by, and it's just going to be intense. Straight fight for the finish here. There's not any more clear track ahead of the leaders. It's all going to be behind lap traffic, navigating through what's going to happen. The 54 has been stable in the lead right behind the 00, but now they're going to be faced with some even slower traffic and people getting loose and sliding. My gosh.
Look at this lap traffic. That's like half the field stacked up in front of our leaders. There's a big gap between Riley Hooper and the 4th and 5th place cars, but that's because all the entire field is concentrated right in front of our 3 leaders, and it's going to be an unrelenting wave of lap traffic, an unrelenting wall of lap traffic for Cameron Lessard to have to spend the final 10 laps of this race trying to navigate.
Well, you know, and honestly, it might not be a lot different for him than it has been for the last several laps, for the last maybe like 20 or so laps, being right behind the 00, because that's still where he is. He just cannot get by. But he hasn't really been challenged other than that one time that he slid up the track. He hasn't been challenged a lot by the 3 car, so we'll see what happens. But the 3 car, he's got to get going here to try to make some passes along with the 69. They have to go if they're going to have any chance at winning this race. We're running out of laps.
Closing in on the end of this thing, and we've got side-by-side battles up ahead of the leaders. Ancelotti about to go a 3rd lap down. We've got Terzic in the 57, Mike White, Blair in the 5, Alexander Rowe. So yeah, that's
the leader.
That's nerve-wracking for Cameron Lessard, but
boy.
He had to make this move though, because look at that, Riley Hooper is making the move on Lattimore for 2nd. He knows it's time to go, so the 69 trying to get around Lattimore for 2nd position, and Lessard has finally hit the button he needs to go with 6 laps remaining.
Well, this is the best thing that Lessard could have seen, is the 2 right behind him battling side by side for position. They're not allowing each other to really have a shot at the lead, but now the 69 has gotten through just barely.
Whoa, big stack up back there. Jared Schenk in the 85 got slowed up, and the 69's off pace. He's got some sort of issue with that car, but it looks like he's found pace again and he's gotten going, but that's really ruined the day for Chris Lattimore and for Riley Hooper himself, because that's given Cameron Lessard a golden ticket for this race. He's built up a 2.5 lead with 4 to go.
Yeah, now I don't think that the 3 car is going to be able to get to him now that he's up into the 2nd place again. I don't think he's going to have time. Plus, there's a car in between them now.
There's 2 cars in between them now.
Oh my gosh, so this is really fallen into the lap of Cameron Lessard. They started battling, and then the 69 had that moment where he had a little bit of trouble.
And look, Ryan Arnold's closing in.
Car.
Yeah, and Devin Fair too.
Out of nowhere. Oh my goodness! Wow, what a several set of moments right here. And still,
the 5 and the 34 are almost banging doors. But we're coming to the white flag right here. Cameron Lessard, that move he made on lap 74 to get around that 3 car was the move of the race, I think, because that has gotten him a lead that he has never relinquished, and he's not going to relinquish it for the rest of the night. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be a well-earned first career win for Cameron Lessard, and it gives Revolution Racing their first victory in the Nitro National Series after so much superstar success. Cameron Lessard has truly earned this one.
He certainly did. He rode behind that 3 car for a long time, and he may not have had the fastest car today, but boy, when it counted, he was the best in the traffic. He was able to make that move on the 3 while the 3 struggled right behind the 00, and then he got to the bottom. The 00 ended up with a bunch of damage right there, but yeah. I'll tell you what, they that moment where the 3 was just not able to get by. The 3 car never really was able to pass a lot of lap traffic in this race, and that just hurt that car and driver and allowed the 54 to get by and win this race. A great job to capitalize on that, and a great job to keep the lead through all of the chaos at the end of it. Very well done.
Going through the rest of the top 10 real quick, behind Ryan Arnold and Devin Fair, AJ Zhao, we didn't mention his name at all today, but he hung on to finish in 6th spot. That's a good bounce back from that 98 team. Hayes Green fell back to 7th, still a decent day. The lead Spa driver, and I believe the lead Dodge overall in this race. Brendan Smith, 8th. DJ Curtis, six races this season. He's got top 10s in all 6. He comes home 9th today, which I believe is actually his worst finish of the season, believe it or not. And Braden Varga rounds out the top 10 for Team Duke. But boy, that was an excellent race. It might not have had the lead changes we see at a place like Atlanta, but we had the one lead change, and it was made all the difference for Cameron Lassard this evening. But with that being said, from Duke and Zach, and from myself as well, thanks for joining us at Bristol Motor Speedway. We had a bit of everything today. We had some carnage, we had some lap traffic, we had a great battle for the lead, and it ended in Cameron Lassard visiting victory lane for the first time. We'll see you again next week at Texas World Speedway, a return to College Station, Texas, for the Nitro National cars. And we're looking forward to that as much as you are. Some high-speed racing out there. But until we see you then, a big congratulations to Cameron Lassard, who, for the first time for himself and for his race team, are winners in the Nitro National Series.